Hi, I'm Nikki Ubaldini, and I've been in real estate for about 25 years in the Tampa Bay area. Been with Keller Williams since December of 1998. Now we're going to talk about the buyer's consultation. Let's start with the overview. First, know your scripts. Know what you're going to say, when you're going to say it. Second, make sure you educate yourself. Know what's happening in the market, know the price differentials, how short sales work, and how REOs work. Third, never book your appointment out further than 48 hours, preferably 24, and always confirm that appointment. Fourth, never do research ahead of time. Many of you think it's important to be prepared, but what you're going to discover through the consultation is what they've told you on the phone is not really what they want to see. And last, always have a buyer's book that gives them the overview of the process so that they have something to take away. Now it's time to go through the buyer's consultation. But first, always ask for permission. Remind them, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know this isn't your first home. Would it be okay if we spent a few minutes to go through the buying process so that we both know what's going to happen when you work with me, just to make sure we're both on the same page? Would that be okay? Typically, every buyer says yes. So you start at the top. 1, you talk about what's going to happen behind the scenes, the research, how long it might take, and how you're going to weed out those properties and only show them the best of the best. Next, you're going to talk about how you're going to show them property, and that the average buyer won't see any more than 8 to 10 properties before they'll make a decision. Next, make sure they understand what's going on in the market. Many times they've heard about this seller's market or buyer's market, and they don't really understand what it is. But what they do need to know is that great homes sell in every market, and they sell fast. And they sell close to the asking price, if they're priced right. Now, don't forget to talk about short sales and the time that it might take to make sure they truly understand what they're getting into. Also, REOs are very intriguing until they understand that they might take a little sweat equity in the end. So spend some time going over those two properties. Now it's offer time. Make sure you let them know that you're going to help them make an educated decision on what to offer by doing a market analysis that shows them exactly what's happening in the market so they can feel comfortable about the price they're paying. And finally, they've bought it. Their contract was accepted. And now they need to know that really that's when our job starts. We explain to them there's inspections, there's appraisals, and all the different things that are going to happen between now and the closing table, including the review of all the documents prior to their closing. Now we're going to go over the needs analysis. We're going to start with what we call the TENS process. So we start with the transaction and we say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, we're going to talk about the transaction. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning it's not very good, and 10 meaning it's a great experience. What one thing has to happen for it to be a 10? The next process we're going to talk about is on the home. And we're going to make sure that each person knows that they're only going to get 3 must-haves. So the 10s will consist like this. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, on a scale of 1 to 10, what one thing does your new home have to have and or be for it to be a 10? And then say, why is that important to you? And describe for me what you mean. What this does is it helps us stop assuming. Once we finish with the 10s, we want to take them through the expectations. We want to find out, how does somebody win with them? Then, how does somebody lose with them? Then we want to do an assumptive close and say, what do you feel you have the right to expect from me as your realtor? And then we ask them, what do you feel I have the right to expect from you as my client? When you do the expectations correctly, you're going to discover that loyalty, honesty, and sincerity are some of the most important things that your customers are going to want. And interestingly enough, this allows you to end your consultation with a buyer's agency agreement, or what I like to call the agreement of loyalty. This allows you to go into a true relationship with the customer that you're both committed to. We've now finished the entire process of the buyer's consultation. Remember, this process should take about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on your customer's questions. For those of you that are watching this video, make sure that you're out there and you're practicing, because you know practice will make you perfect. And if you're practicing outside of meeting with the customers, that's the best thing. Because if you aren't, who are you practicing on? The customer. And that is a little expensive, isn't it? I am Nikki Ubaldini, and I wish you all the luck in all your buyer's consultations. Enjoy and have fun.